Hi. Um, hey there. This is a video response to the last two videos you gave me. Is it Monica? I couldn't find your name on the website on the YouTube channel. Anyway, I thought I'd kick back. I don't know how much time I've got to do this talk, but I'll just quickly do it. Anyway, I'll just go through the first few notes of what you got went and said to me. I hope this mic's been loud enough. It might be better if I get a headset or something. Anyway, yeah, I do come from a very mindful state. I spend a lot of time stuck in my own head, so there's not much to do but be mindful. And I have to admit, it's probably the best direction I come from things. I try not to get in my head too much because overthinking can be a problem. But I tend to have a lot of time on my hands at the moment, so I find myself in my head a lot. Anyway, so I do come from a very mindful place, and also, when you're saying a strong friendship group, I have to agree that it's very important for everyone to have that. There's very few people I've ever met in the world who can be on their own and be completely happy with it and not lie about being happy, but actually be happy. One of my little talents is seeing right through people's lies and fabrications about themselves, even if they don't realize they're lying to themselves. Anyway, I'll just nip onto the school subjects. School educations. Alright, so our universities, we have a HEX fee, which is basically the government pays for the course until we earn enough money to pay it back. So let's say if I did an engineering course, then I managed to land a job and I was working and receiving for $40,000 a year. I'd probably have to start paying a small amount. If I was earning probably 80,000 a year, I'd actually be paying more of the HEX fee about. Basically, it's adjusted so that you don't have to pay it until you have the means to pay it. It's quite a good system. Though I have to admit, the politics within university make university very difficult to get through for a lot of people as well, and people who work in the university system. Alright, so that's them two over. Alright, so ego, self ego. It's basically what I've been studying a lot lately because when I went on my trip to Thailand, I really found out that because I didn't understand any of the rules uh, or social dynamics over there, it meant I could only be me. I had to act on my own decisions because I didn't have time to observe and then react correctly. Not to mention because of the dual society conflictions within it. Like a lot of Thailand happens to be very westernized American style. So to actually react to the proper reactions to the Thais was difficult because frankly they expected everyone to act like Americans. Which was good for me because I just reacted the way I thought I should, the way I wanted to treat people and I want them to treat me. So it was really good in learning myself. So basically, since I got back, I've been trying to work out where that applies and where it doesn't back here. I found that I still find it really hard with the expectations of my parents. Even though they don't intend it, it's there. I think it's because of having to be quite a sensitive soul, really. Yeah, no, so, also, with one of my favorite sayings from Buddhism happens to be, I'm not a Buddhist, by the way. I'm not a Christian. I'm not an atheist. My friend describes me as agnostic, but the truth of the fact is, I believe in exactly what the world is, and that's it. Um, actually, I've got a really good description of myself that I wrote up last night on the note. Let's see if I can find it. Basically, I feel that humanity has advanced a little too fast technology-wise, that's including English languages, mathematics skills, and all this, for our evolutional stage. I honestly feel this. Um, and I think what's happening is we're seeing bad byproducts because of it. Usually, um, social depressive and dominating governmental structures like capitalism and royalism, monetarism, just basically like fascism, all those kind of things, right? And I think that the only real truth in existence is the world. Like gravity, you can't argue that gravity isn't real, and that gravity is just going to be whatever it's going to be, no matter the politics about it. That's what I love about it. The politics about the rules about the world are an absolute. The only thing that changes is our perception and how we think of them. Like, um, like what if string theory becomes proven? That would be a mind-blowing step for humankind. But at the same time, the fact is that reality of existence never changed. All that changed was our perception and our ability to understand the complexities of it. Anyway, this is the note I wrote last night on myself. Uh, I hope it doesn't come off egotistically. It's more just something I thought about last night. Anyway, I'll start here. My very existence forces people to face their own lies they tell themselves and those lies that are taught to them. How do you say? My truth is the truth taught to me by the world, not by humankind. And even though we tell ourselves we are special and important, the world is much more truthful and has no need to make its self importance noted, even though it has so much more importance than any one of us and thus has no need to lie. It's not afraid of crushing us, it's not afraid of us hurting it, and it's not afraid of loving us, in brackets, meaning to provide stable living environments or not. Uh, it's really up to the forces of nature. And it is our playground where we are to learn the truth for ourselves. Now, see, I believe that's one hell of a truth. You can't argue with what the world is. Even though our perceptions change of it and our understandings and our ability to manipulate it change, it doesn't change the fact that if we did not exist, the world would still be like this, it'd still be this way. It would still have air, it would still have water, it would still have dirt. It would still have life, probably, as well. We are a guest here, I guess. We're just lucky to be in an habitable zone and exist within, well, existence, really. We're pretty fucking lucky. If you actually look at the um, amount of stars and galaxies in the universe, it is mind-boggling that we actually exist at all. The truth of the fact is, it's something that's astonished astrologists and scientists for years, and that's why they're so fascinated with it all. Anyway, I better move on before I run out of time. Um, okay, so one of my favorite sayings by the Buddha, by Buddhism, is if you meet the Buddha, kill the Buddha. Basically, this refers to once an idea becomes too solid, it should be removed. Just like our understandings, our understandings of things. Once they become so solid that we start defending them because we're scared of losing them. Like we're like, oh my god, we've found it, we finally found it. Now no one can tell us we're wrong. Well, guess what? You've just dug yourself into a hole, and all you're going to do is cause friction for no reason. Without flexibility, humankind wouldn't exist at all. If you actually look at the process from Neanderthals to Homo sapiens, we almost died out. It is absolutely astounding that we survived the process of actually evolving at that step from hunchback to actually standing up straight. The amount of young women who are dying just from trying to give birth and they didn't succeed a lot of the time was astounding by the records that I've read up on. Um, but we adapted and changed with the times. We managed to change well enough to survive, and look at us now, dominating most of the planet. So what I'm saying is that a solid idea is good, but never hold on to it. Relax into the fluidity of life. That's basically the best way of explaining the way I try to live. So I see pain and conflict as being the biggest reasons for change in the world. I truly believe this. I think that only real, uh, almost stepped on my own foot there. Most major change within existence happen because of great strife and pain. Like, for example, we don't have slaves in any countries that I know of, actually. I don't think any countries do slavery much anymore, or at all. But because it caused so much conflict, it eventually causes a reaction and a change in the way the world works around it, well, the way people work around it. Because we're all susceptible to others' emotions. So if we're causing pain to another, eventually we cannot turn a blind eye to them anymore, and someone's going to step up and go, "Whoa, this isn't okay." So pain is something not to be inflicted on others. I feel this, though. To be clear, it's not something you can always avoid. Sometimes it has to happen that way. And I'm getting to that bit. So pain is something not to be intentionally inflicted. There we go. That's much better version on others, and it is a fact of life. Because it is a fact of life. Everyone gets hurt and pain happens, and it is not meant to be avoided. I like lying to people about your feelings. If you're lying to them, you're just going to cause more pain on you and the other person. I find one of the most frustrating things when I grew up was when I asked a girl out whether they said yes or no. When they said no, when they made an excuse about how they couldn't date or whatever, it was really disappointing because I could see their lie in my face, and all it did was confuse me. I'm like, why would they just why wouldn't they just say the truth instead of me having to fumble along and find it out for myself? Why couldn't they just explain it to my face and understand themselves well enough to not put that guilt on themselves? Anyway, I think I've answered most of your questions. I wasn't quite sure which were questions and which weren't. I just tried to find anything you were actually directing at me for the conversation instead of just sharing, because there was quite a lot of you just sharing what your thoughts were yourself. So I hope this explains what you were asking, and I'll speak to you soon, I guess. Bye.